You're listening to Frankly Speaking Sports with Larry Frank on Northeast Streaming Sports.
By both starting pitchers to become a battle of the bullpens, and right now Toronto out in the lead, and the Rays got to claw back.
Well, here is D-Man Choi batting right-handed and getting into this one, and that baby is out of here. D-Man Choi jumping on that first pitch, batting right-handed against the left-hander Kay, and he belts the home run.
That ball was hammered.
Big strikeout night all the way around, but certainly for the Rays staff, hey, with a miss, swinging and a miss, and swing. 3 call. Well, that's a team record for the Rays. They've recorded 19 strikeouts tonight. 19 strikeouts for the pitching staff, a 9-inning club record. That one is going to get out of here, dropping into the bullpen. There, this one goes. A shot deep and gone. Oh, and he launched that one.
And today, a complete beatdown, beating the Red Sox by the final score at 17-8. And for the first time in 10 years and second time in franchise history, the Rays come to Fenway and take all 4 games.
Mike Brasso. Well, Brasso was at the plate last night in the 9th inning, ducking a pitch at his head for 101 miles per hour. Now the 2-2, that's lifted high and deep into left, and that baby's gone. 2-run shot by Mike Brasso, and the Rays are answering in a big way here in the first inning. Home runs by Rosarena, and now the 2-run shot by Mike Brasso.
Had to feel that he got a little bit of revenge when he hit the 2-run home run as the 0-1 pitch now on its way. There's a swing and a fly ball to right center field and fairly deep. Back on it is Hicks to the wall. It's a 2-homer game. Mike Brasso goes oppo. His second home run tonight, his 5th home run of the season, and the Rays get on the other side of the slam. 5-0 Tampa Bay.
Tell you what, 24 hours ago, I wonder how many Yankee fans had really heard about Mike Brasso. He may never let them forget about it now. What an answer.
Rays are 1 strike away from the American League East ground here. Now the right-hander ready, the 0-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and the Rays win. And for the 3rd time in team history, the Tampa Bay Rays are the American League East champions. They're throwing some of the confetti into the air, and there are high fives, handshakes, and some hugs, and the masks are on.
Well, this is an interesting confrontation here.
What a that bat going here. 3-2. Brasso sends one into left field. Gardner going back, and it is up and gone. Mike Brasso has homered, and the Rays have a 2-1 lead. What a moment for Brasso. Tampa Bay on top on the 10th pitch of the at-bat.
First career postseason home run from Mike Brasso. You could feel that coming.
One of the biggest home runs in Rays history. Reddick is gone, and the Rays are out of the way now. Aledmus Diaz will step to the plate. Last hope for the Astros. And on the first pitch, in the air, right field, that is playable. Coming in, Margot, and that's it. The Tampa Bay Rays have won the American League pennant. The Rays are going to the World Series.
It's 2 on with 2 out, and the Rays are going to ask for the biggest hit in the life of Brett Phillips. Jansen, that is into center field. Here comes Kiermaier. Phillips is tied the game. Rosarena coming around. Throw home, now he stumbles. When the ball gets away, Tampa Bay wins it. Brett Phillips, Game 4 hero.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Frankly Speaking Sports on opening day eve. That's right, tomorrow, every single team is in action in Major League Baseball. And we have a full hour for you tonight. Talk about any baseball game you want to talk about, any team, but today it's about opening day tomorrow, which will start, I believe, at the first game with the Yankees and Blue Jays, and then wrapping up in California tomorrow evening on the East Coast. But we will go over quite a few things today. I'm going to go ahead and in a little bit maybe break down each opening day game as well, each team, and some of the things. And then I'm going to go ahead and also let you know what my predictions are in each division tonight, as well as go over the lineups for the Rays tomorrow. And we got an unbelievable topic tonight we're going to talk about is how good are coaches? And, that sounds weird, but how good is a coach? How do we define greatness? How do we define good? How do we define average? We hear all these things about Kevin Cash is a great coach. Well, tonight we'll talk about whether Kevin Cash is a great coach or not. Now, all night long, and I say all night long, I mean while we're on the air, of course, we're going to have a call-in number. I'm going to give you folks permission to call in like we did last time. It worked out really well. A lot of you, excited about the upcoming season with the Tampa Bay Rays, as we all are. And we're going to let you call in. You can leave comments here. Want to welcome everyone to the show tonight. For those of you watching on Frankly Speaking Sports, I want to welcome you all to the platform. I know we are live on Northeast Streaming Sports. Hello, everybody from Northeast Streaming Sports. And also, we are also live on Twitch tonight. So very, very happy to be on Twitch. So for those of you folks that are with us tonight, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you tonight, and we're looking forward to this show. Call in if you'd like. The number is 813-922-9810. It's on the screen. Call in one person at a time, and we'll try to get to all your calls. But go ahead, share this to your timelines, share this to other timelines. I didn't promote anything tonight because we did our opening day special a couple days ago. I believe it was Monday evening. We had the great radio voice commentator, radio voice play-by-play announcer, I should say, for the Tampa Bay Rays, Dave Wills on. We also had the pre- and post-game show with our good buddy Neil Solondz on as well. So if you missed that, shame on you. You can go back and listen to it. But tonight, we're talking more Tampa Bay Rays. We're not, I don't plan on talking about anything else, but if you call in and you want to talk about a specific topic related to Tampa Bay sports or any other sports, we are not going to deny you that. But tonight, excitement. Guys, I want to say it was 2012. Last year we didn't go to the home opener because of COVID. 3 years before that, me and my wife went to every opening day for those 3 years. And then 2012, I remember the loudest, I still tell people, the loudest I ever heard Tropicana Field was the return of Carlos Pena. It's opening day versus the Yankees. First inning comes up. It is bases loaded, hits a grand slam home run over the right field wall, and that place was deafening. That place was unbelievable, just unbelievable. I've never, ever heard Tropicana Field that loud in my life. And, then they went on to win that game on a sacrifice fly, but none other than Carlos Pena. Opening day, it is nothing better in the game of baseball than opening day. I mean, how can anyone not be fired up for opening day in baseball. It's the greatest day of the year because every team is in first place. Every team starts off in first place. It doesn't matter if you're a Tampa Bay Rays fan or a Baltimore Orioles fan. Starting tonight at midnight, you are in first place. What a great, great time of year for all baseball fans. And those of you tuning in right now, want to welcome you all to our set tonight. Great, great show for you all. And hopefully we'll see a bunch of you on shortly. But tonight before, everyone's asking about tomorrow. What's going to be the starting lineup? What's the projected lineup for your very own? Let me see. I had it here, and I will pull it up. I know it pretty much by heart, but what a great, great team this is. What a great, great team this Tampa Bay Rays team is. And once again, if you want to call in 813-922-9810. We will put you live on the air. Immediately live as soon as we can get to you. Put you on the air, answer your baseball question. Let's talk about opening day. Maybe talk about your greatest opening day moment that you have ever had. Maybe it was with your mom. Maybe it was with your dad going to the ball game. Something you saw. Maybe it was Tom Seaver pitching. That was my first game ever, watching Tom Seaver pitch. Maybe it was something else for you. We talked about the excitement we just had when Pena hit the home run. Let me know about what your most exciting moment was with opening day baseball and how excited you are. But when you look at this lineup for the Tampa Bay Rays tomorrow, it starts out most likely your leadoff hitter is going to be Yoshi Sasalo, who of late has been hitting the ball well. The Rays are expecting a lot of good things from this young man. Came over, from last year from the Japanese League. Obviously a big transition. On top of that, had COVID, never got time to settle. And that's not an excuse like our great buddy Dave Wells said the other night. That is a fact. That, you can't hide facts. And right now, the fact is that he had a rough year and a lot going on outside of baseball. Very, very excited the Rays are to see what this young man can do. He probably will be playing first base most likely with G-Man Choi out. And as long as he's been hitting the way he's been hitting the last 2 weeks of spring training, I'm looking forward to this. And, tomorrow we open up versus a Miami Marlins team. Miami Marlins team who's starting Sandy Alcantara tomorrow. He's 3-3 with right around a 4.0 ERA for his career. Doesn't have a lot of experience, you would think, and I said you would think, this is a guy who the Rays should really feast on tomorrow in opening day. And don't be surprised if the Rays come out and score 10 runs tomorrow in their first game. This is done, and that's no knock towards this young pitcher. He has the ability, but this is a guy I think the Rays can really feast off. Batting second's going to be the playoff ALCS MVP Randy Arozarena, left fielder. Everybody knows what Randy Arozarena is capable of doing. Everyone knows what he did last year in the playoffs. Can he do it again? And a lot of people say, it's a sophomore jinx. But hold on a minute, Yankee fans. He's still technically a rookie this year because he did not qualify in enough games last year to warrant him a year of service. So Randy Arozarena is still a rookie. So, later in the year, we talk about Wander Franco coming up. The Tampa Bay Rays possibly could have two guys who could be very, very good candidates for Rookies of the Year at the end of the year with these two players. And then, you look at number 3, Austin Meadows, not a great year last year. And, we said this about every team, not just the Rays, but you want to pretty much take last year and just wipe it out from a statistical standpoint because a lot of the power hitters and things like that, real tough to tell. In this many games, they did this. Let's hope Meadows can get back to 2019 form where he hit those 33 homers, and I think he will. Remember, that was his first full year with the Rays after coming over from the Pirates. First game, first at bat, hits a home run, and the rest was history. So Austin Meadows will be batting third. And then number 4, well-deserving, Brandon Lau, who had an MVP-type year, maybe not in the playoffs, but if it wasn't for him during that 60-game season, the Rays never make it to the playoffs. Never make it to the playoffs. So, then you got Yandy Diaz batting 5th, who, let's hope he can get back to his form, because a lot of questions. I know Neil said there's not a lot of pressure on him, but I tend to disagree with Neil a little bit. I think there's a huge amount of pressure on Yandy Diaz, and I know where he comes from. I know Neil said that, but at the end of the day, this is a game of baseball. We care about what you do on the field, and that's no discredit towards Yandy and what he went off the field. But the game of baseball and the people behind the scenes are judging him on what his results are on the field. And if he doesn't come out, in the first month of the season, people are going to start, hearing that name, Wander Franco, a lot more than they might be hearing it right now. And it's trust me, folks, the game, the mental part of the game will take you further than the ability. You already have the ability. The mental aspect can can be your best friend or your worst enemy. So that's Yandy Diaz batting number 5. Then say, hey, Willy Adames, man. Willy Adames, on and off. You never know what to expect from Willy. Been having a decent spring. Willy Adames, is good for 20 homers. He's very streaky in the field and at the plate. And obviously, those of you that have followed Willie throughout his career with the Rays, he tends to play better on the road than he does at home. And just for you guys and ladies that don't know, the Rays play away tomorrow. So look for Willy Adames to get off to a quick start, possibly on the road with this team starting in Miami. Then you got Kevin Kiermaier, and we talked a lot about Kevin the last couple of shows, and one thing about Kevin Kiermaier is you know what you're going to get with Kevin. You're going to get a 250 hitter on a good year, maybe 260. Great defense and okay batting, but he got some clutch hits last year. Let's not take away from the fact of what he did. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that, I like Kevin Kiermaier. I do like Kevin Kiermaier. But when it comes to his play, I think it's over-magnified sometimes. I think he brings a lot to the outfield position from a defensive side of the game. But don't tell me other players can't do that. You got Manuel Margot, who within a couple of years, I'm telling you, is going to be a beast for the Tampa Bay Rays if he's still on this team. And number 2, Manuel Margot is going to hit, I believe, better than Kevin Kiermaier. I'd love to see Kevin Kiermaier come out, bust out, have a great first half. But he's another one, folks. If he struggles in the first half of the season, don't be surprised at the trading deadline in July if the Rays go ahead and try to make a move for a solid relief pitcher or another starting pitcher who can solidify this team. They got to get something for Kevin while they can. And the longer they wait to make a possible trade with Kevin Kiermaier involved, the more value they are losing, which means the quicker they make the move, the more value they are getting. So you got to understand this is a game, but it's also a business. And as much as we love KK, if he's off to a great start, you keep him and you ride it, baby. You ride those coattails. But if he's not, then a decision is going to be made by the front office, Eric Neander, on what they should and should not do as far as Kevin Kiermaier goes. And had someone just texting us. I'll read that in a minute. And then after Kevin Kiermaier, very excited to see what the catching position. Zunino will be batting 8. If it ain't Zunino, it's going to be Francisco Mejia. And I'll tell you what, everyone knows what Zunino did in the playoffs last year. Everyone's, what he did was great. I mean, had a great playoffs, hit 4 ding-dong, diggity-ding-dongs over the wall. and just an unbelievable performance by him. But we'd like to see him do that more consistently. Nothing would be better than to see Zunino stop getting hot from the offensive side of the plate. Everybody knows the importance and what he means to this entire team behind the plate on the defensive side. But in the event that he should struggle, we also have Francisco Mejia, who is an unbelievable player, an unbelievable talent that just isn't proven yet. And the Rays have that ability to get guys like a Francisco Mejia and all of a sudden make them bloom. Look what they did 2 years ago with Travis d'Arnaud, who now plays for the Braves. Travis d'Arnaud would not be playing today if it wasn't probably for the Tampa Bay Rays giving him that shot 2 years ago where he had an all-star performance for the Rays, hit a plenty of homers, plenty against the Yankees, and just was a big-time individual at the catching spot. Look for Mejia to be similar. Look for Mejia to get some big hits, and look for Mejia, if he gets off on a good tad too, he'll be catching a lot more than just, every other day in that lineup, and they can sure use him. But I feel comfortable with Zunino. I wasn't sure at first, but, he proved to us that he has that ability, like he did in the playoffs, to get streaky, and we just need him to get streaky and hot. And then I'll pitch him for tomorrow. Excuse me, folks. Had to take a quick drink there. We'll be Tyler Glasnow, and just like every pitching staff, Tyler Glasnow is going to be based on how healthy he stays throughout the year. 2 years ago, having a Cy Young Award year, and he gets injured, okay? So it's going to be a big, big key for Tyler Glasnow to go ahead and stay healthy. For those of you fans out there, we are talking about the Tampa Bay Rays tomorrow, opening day. We have a call-in number, 813-922-9810. You can call in, get on the air, give us your feelings about opening day and the upcoming 2021 season for your Tampa Bay Rays. We'd love to hear from you, so please don't be shy. Call in. We'll put you on the air. Let us know who you are and where you're from, and we'll love to talk to you. Tomorrow the Rays open up versus a team who surprised a lot of people last year, went to the playoffs. I don't think they're, it was a 40-game season, and I don't want to take that away from the Miami Marlins. But, they got Corey Dickerson, who will lead off tomorrow. Very good ball player, about a 300 average, can pound out about 15 to 20 homers. And they got Sterling Marte, and I don't know why my phone keeps acting up every time I touch this, but they also got Sterling Marte. Let me see if right. But after that, they got Jesus Aguilar, who used to play for us, first baseman they're counting on a lot, Adam Duvall. But after that, the lineup is a scrappy lineup, and those are the lineups that scare you. When you look at that National League East, the New York Mets, the Phillies are in there, of course, the Braves and the Nationals, it's a tough little, division as well. So we should see what happens with that. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do right now, I'm knocking some things out here as we go. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to have a very, very interesting conversation on great managers or not great managers, great coaches or not great coaches. And then after that, we're going to review real quickly the games that will be played tomorrow, of course, weather permitting, and then my predictions for each division in Major League Baseball. So a lot to go over in the next 25 minutes. Let's go ahead and while we're waiting here, let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we'll talk about good managers and great managers.
Cub broadcaster and current Rays play-by-play man Dwayne Stats. All right, with the spirit of Harry, we're going to sing this song, and we're going to sing it loud. All right, fans. It's a 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if we never get back. It's root for the. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. God bless you, Harry.
Microsoft Surface.
That was all good, buddy. Dwayne Stats. Dwayne Stats, voice, TV voice of the Tampa Bay Rays, singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" tomorrow, opening day, folks. I'm fired up. But before we get into the games, I want to go ahead and remind you one more time that you can go ahead and call in at 813-922-9810. We are currently live on Northeast Streaming Sports, Facebook, and Twitch, among some other platforms. We will be recorded on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes. Also welcome people that are fans of Zodiac TV, which we're on Mondays and Thursdays. So thank you so very much for joining us this evening. Excuse me there. We want to go into, one of the things people have been talking about, and I don't want to be negative about this. I want an open discussion. If you want to call in, you agree, disagree, comment, whether you agree or not agree. Remember, we all agree to disagree on this show. So it's okay if your thought process is not necessarily the same exact process as mine. But when we talk about great coaches, how do we define great coaches? How do we go ahead and define great coaches? The only way to define how great a coach is really, I really think it's about talking about how many championships they won. How many titles have you won? Every single coach, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, hockey, when you start the season, you have one goal. It's to win the championship in your sport. Anything less is a failure. And people will go, well, no, Larry, you can come in second like the Rays did last year and be number 31 of 32 teams or however many teams there are in baseball and be second out of all those teams. That doesn't make you bad. Well, it doesn't make you great either. You didn't win. If you didn't win, you can't be great if you don't win. Greatness is based on winning. It's based on winning. And a lot of people ask, is Kevin Cash a great manager? No, he's not a great manager. He may be an average manager. And people go, no, not Kevin Cash. He invented this, he invented that. He does the starter. He does this with the bullpen. He brought analytics up to a new height. Okay, Kevin Cash has never won the big game. Okay, he's never won the World Series. He brought the team to a World Series, but he's never won a World Series. Kevin Cash is 454 wins, 416 losses, which means 52% of the time he wins a game that he manages. That is an average manager. He has not won any World Series. None. Well, people go, well, he won the AL championship last year. He won the AL East last year. Okay, so he's better than the other managers that are not good, but he's still not great. Greatness is defined by winning. Tom Brady, if you take 7 Super Bowls away from Tom Brady as a quarterback, Tom Brady is only an average quarterback. You add those 7 Super Bowls to Tom Brady, and he is the greatest quarterback to ever play the game of football. It's like Marv Levy. When you look at Marv Levy in football, and I'm using football right now, the great Buffalo Bills, he went to 4 Super Bowls but never won. Is Marv Levy a great coach? He's a Hall of Fame coach. Is he a great coach? He's never won. How can you say a guy is great or a lady is great that has never won? And this is Derek Jeter's mindset, and I love it to death. If you ever get to listen to Derek Jeter talk about winning and greatness, it's incredible. And he has the same philosophy with this. And this is why sooner or later, I do believe the Miami Marlins will be a good team, because his definition of winning, his definition of greatness, his definition of success is correct. You have to win. Marv Levy has never won a Super Bowl. How can you say he's great? Dan Marino is the greatest quarterback, people say, to ever play the game. No, he's not. He's never won. People go, well, he won. Okay, he's been to the playoffs once or maybe twice in how many years playing? He is a good quarterback. He's better than a lot of the quarterbacks that have not made the playoffs. But the question comes back. Is Kevin Cash a great manager? No, he hasn't won. In 6 years as manager, including last year, and I say including last year due to the fact that you had the COVID, and I know that was a messed up year for everyone. He's had 2 winning years the last 2 years. Before that, in his entire career, he won 90 games once, 96 the other. The other 3 seasons have been losing records. How can someone look me in the face and say we have a great manager? And that's no disrespect towards Kevin Cash, but a manager or coach cannot seal their greatness until they win that big game. Bill Belichick is a great manager. He has won 6 Super Bowls. How can anyone say he's not? He defines his greatness with winning. You have to win to be great. You can't be great and lose. How many people in life are happy and continue to say they're great when they're not winning? When they're not, they're losing. Larry, we came in first place and lost in the wild card series of baseball. Okay, so you're the best of the crappy teams, okay? But at the end of the day, if you're going to define yourself as being great because you went to the wild card and lost, that's the wrong attitude. That is not a winning attitude. You have to define greatness by winning. And it's not easy, folks. Greatness is not easy. It's hard work. Before this year, who would you say was the greatest coach in the history of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Some of you would say Tony Dungy, but he's never won. He went to the playoffs maybe, or he may have made the team better than, it's not as bad as it was, but that doesn't define greatness. Now, Tony went on to win with Indianapolis and defined his legacy on winning. And I'm trying to make sense to you all, and hopefully I do. But winning defines greatness. Okay, Kevin, I've seen Kevin Cash make a lot of mistakes. Obviously, everybody can talk about last year, but let's put that one aside. I see him take Yarbrough out with the no-hitter. I seen him take Morton out where Morton looked at him like, he was on something. These are guys that, the one thing that I've noticed that Kevin Cash doesn't do well, and I said this way before last year, said this about 3 years ago when they opened up the year versus the Houston Astros at the Trop. It was the first game. I think they might have lost that game. But anyway, I said to my wife, I don't like the way he handles the pitching staff. I've never been a big fan of the way Kevin Cash has handled the pitching staff. I think he uses way too much analytics, and I don't think he uses enough human side, which Dave Wills and I talked about on our previous show, of managing the game of baseball. There is a human element. How do you feel? How was your day? How is everyone in your family doing? There are things that play a factor into how you perform. And great coaches are great communicators. Great communicators will get that information out and use that to their advantage when it comes crunch time in a game to say, no, this person isn't ready or this person is ready. There is a human side of the game, and Kevin lacks that ability. And until Kevin realizes that human element in the game of baseball, he will only be a 52% average manager. Nothing better, because he has not won. If he wins, his greatness is defined. And that's going back to the question I asked you about the Buccaneers. John Gruden was probably the best coach the Buccaneers ever had, because he defined it with winning. And, he defined it with winning. People say, well, he was a good coach beforehand. He was a good coach beforehand, but he was never a great coach. He was a good coach. He got there against New England with the fumble that fumble that, whatever with Brady, and then they lost that game. So he was still only a good coach. When he won with the Buccaneers, he became a great coach. Bruce Arians, we brought a guy that was a good coach over. He became a great coach. He became a great coach with the Buccaneers because he won. You can now say Bruce Arians is a great coach. He put his definition on the word winning. Now, hopefully that made sense to you all. And, it's really logical when you think about it. And, look at Eli Manning. Is Eli Manning a great quarterback? Yes. He's been there twice. He's beaten the best. He's been the best. He has proven twice that he is a great quarterback. He has been there. If Eli Manning doesn't win 2 Super Bowls, he's just an average quarterback. Okay? You're the leader on the team. If you are great, now people will say, well, you look at Dan Marino, look at the statistic, look at all this stuff he puts up, or look at some of these baseball players that have never been to a World Series, but they have great stats. At the end of the day, folks, you got to make a statement. Most players, I'm sorry, I know they get paid on individual statistics and results, but nobody wants them if their team doesn't win. Very rarely you see a Mike Trout situation that you have in California where a team's not winning and everybody would take that player. That's one guy, okay? But on an average scale, who else do you take? I mean, greatness, winning defines greatness. Everybody on that team last year for the Dodgers is considered a great player because they've had great results. And what's more important, being great as a team player or being great as an individual player? Believe me, at the end of the day, how many of the players on the team, on the Los Angeles Dodgers, care if they have one player that sucks and they went to the World Series and won it? Or would they rather say, we have all these guys that have above statistics, we're a great team, but we didn't win it? Because you're not a great team. Great teams win. Okay, and that's my lecture today on winning and Kevin Cash. Kevin Cash, folks, is an okay manager. He's not the worst manager in the league, but he's nowhere close to being the greatest manager of all time either. Okay? Joe Madden, is a great manager. He went ahead. He went to the World Series with the Rays, did not win. So he was only an above average manager, maybe. He wasn't a great manager, but he solidified his greatness by going to another team and winning the World Series. That, my friends, is greatness right there. On that note, folks, I'm going to take a quick break so I can cool down here a minute. And we're going to go ahead and play a clip from, growing up in Long Island, New York, the first 18 years of my life. I always loved baseball, got so excited. I followed the Mets. I remember I used to have an AM transistor radio. I put my ear to real close on IM, so I would be able to listen to Bob Murphy, Ralph Kiner, Lindsey Nelson, whoever was on radio calling the game. But there was no better sound when you woke up, and of course I'm a Rays fan now. I've been in Tampa Bay 36 years, but for the first 18 years of my life, at least, if not a little longer, I was a Mets fan. And this is the one song that I always loved listening to because I knew after this that there was a baseball game coming on. And I'm going to see if I can pull up the clip here. Hold on one sec there. There we go. As I go ahead and I'm pulling up this clip, enjoy this, folks. It's great.
Meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking the ball. Knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side. Everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets. Where do they go? To meet the Mets. Oh, they're hollering, they're cheering, and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets. All the fans are true to the orange and blue. So hurry up and come on down. Cause we got ourselves a ball from the Mets of New York town. Give them a yell. Give them a hand. And let them know you're rooting in the stand. Come on and meet the Mets. Meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking the ball. Knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side. Everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York. Of New York.
Oh, yes, opening day tomorrow, April 1st, 2021. Everybody plays. Looking so forward to it. And I want to go over some of these games tomorrow. We got quite a few of these games. I'm going to just do a quick update, let you know who plays, who the starting pitchers are for tomorrow, and then we'll talk about my picks for each division, and I may go as far to say who I think will win. We'll go to the World Series, and we'll take it from there. But I do want to remind you, as we go over this game, I'm going to leave my phone on. For those of you that want to call in, talk a little bit of baseball before the season starts. I didn't purposely put on a guest tonight. For those of you that missed Monday night's show with our Rays season opener, we're elaborating a little more tonight, but we went ahead and we talked about the Tampa Bay Rays with Neil Solondz, the pre- and post-game host of the Rays, and we went ahead and also spoke to Dave Wills, the radio voice of the Rays. So go back, listen to that show. What an incredible, incredible show that was. But we talked about the Rays versus the Marlins tomorrow. We already went in detail with it. Like I said, if you want to call it 813-922-9810 and go ahead and get on the air. Love to have you. Love to get your input. We always love getting callers on and interacting with us. If not, you can leave a comment under the comment section here so that you can go ahead and we can go ahead and answer your questions as best as we can. But the Rays will play the Marlins tomorrow in Miami. It's Glasnow versus Alcantara. And then I guess the big game at 1 o'clock tomorrow is going to be the new and improved Blue Jays at the New York Yankees. Rue versus Cole. Both terrific pitchers, but the big note here is George Springer is now on the 10-day injured list. I guess he has an oblique strain. So terrible, terrible news. It was Voit for the Yankees just a couple of days ago, Luke Voit. Now it's George Springer who is on. And, this is the injuries. And this is the big question about the Yankees, which we'll talk about in a minute. And I'd love to get some Yankee fans on the line. We'll love talking about it, about the Yankees versus the Rays this year. But what is the injury list for the Yankees going to be like? How many games is it going to be before Judge and Carlos Stanton is on the IL? And I don't wish that on any player, on any team, whether I like the team or dislike the team. But at the end of the day, proven fact is they don't last into the second week of the season before they get hurt. And for the Yankees to contend and be able to handle the Rays this year, which they were unable to do last year, they're going to need the big guys to be healthy and to be able to perform this year in 162 games. But, Blue Jays versus Yankees, Yankees are looking to make a statement early. But remember, Yankees got off to a quick start the last couple of years, and especially last year, they got off. Everybody had them after the first week running away with it, and, of course, the Tampa Bay Rays proved them wrong. Then you have 110, the Indians versus the Tigers, Justin Bieber versus Boyd. The Detroit Tigers are playing in Detroit. Then an American League East battle at 2:10 p.m., the Orioles and Red Sox, Means versus Eovaldi. Just amazing how Eovaldi, and I know Saley's hurt and everything, but here's a guy that was with the Rays. His career was almost over. Believe he had like 3 Tommy John surgeries, just an amazing amount of elbow surgery, and he's now starting opening day for the Boston Red Sox in Fenway Park. So a big, big day for them. Then you got 2:10, the Twins and Brewers, Maeda versus Woodruff. A lot of questions about how good the Brew Crew will be if the Twins can continue to play up to the level they did the last couple of years. So we'll have to see that. I mean, great manager in Rocco Baldelli. He came from the Rays system. So we'll see how that does. Then you got the Pirates traveling to Wrigley Field. Kuehl versus Hendricks in the Windy City. Not sure what the weather. I thought it was supposed to be cool tomorrow there in the 40s, but I have to check on that. But there's another game. The Braves versus the Phillies. Big NL East battle. Fried versus Nola tomorrow. And, a lot of questions around the Phillies. Now second-year manager Joe Girardi, what could he do? They got Bryce Harper. They got a nice little offensive team there. Big question with the Phillies is going to be pitching. How could they handle the big boys, the Nationals, the Braves, the Mets, who are just stacked this year? I mean, these are, a lot of people picking the Mets to go ahead and win that division, and they don't. It's not. They expected them to run away with it. A lot of the projectors. So we'll see what happens there. Then you got the Cardinals, Reds, Flaherty versus Castillo. Then on the West, going towards the West Coast. I guess we'll start with the Midwest games. You got the Dodgers versus Rockies, Clayton Kershaw versus Marquez, 4:10 Rangers at Royals, Gibson versus Keller, Kansas City Royals trying to make some noise. Then probably one of the better games, of the day, arguably the Mets versus Nationals. Definitely one of the best pitching matchups of the day. Jason DeGrom versus Max Scherzer. Everyone knows what's expected of the Mets. We'll see how that unbelievable team, now Lindor's over there. There's a lot of pressure on that New York team to become the team of the city of New York right now with a lot of the moves a new owner, Stephen Cohen, has made. Just looking forward to that season, and they can be a very dangerous team if they stay healthy. So the Mets 7:09 game, probably know what I'll be doing at 7:09 because that is going to be one hell of a matchup. Then the White Sox at the Angels. That's a 10 o'clock game. It's going to be Giolito versus Bundy. Then you got the Astros Athletics, Greinke versus Bassett. And then ending it all, the Giants and Mariners, Guzman versus Gonzalez. So those are your games tomorrow. Any of you want to talk about any of those games in the last 10 minutes here? Please go ahead and do so. I am going to give, picking up my picks now. So let me see if they come right up. Nope. Let's do it this way then. Okay. All right, here we go. We're going to start with the National League East first. I mean, this is a group of guys and a division that is becoming one of the better divisions in Major League Baseball. You got the Braves, you got the Marlins, you got Philadelphia, the Mets, and Washington. You know, I think Washington last year, after winning it in 2019 as a wild card team, I believe the Braves won that division that year. But I think Washington comes back and starts playing better ball. They just didn't have a long enough season. Here's one of the teams that I think if the season was 162 games last year instead of 60, it would have panned out as them being one of the better teams. This was one of the teams, whereas the Marlins it might have favored, I think the Nationals had hurt. Nationals will be back this year. They got a tough Braves team over there. And the team to beat in that division is going to be the New York Mets. They have the best pitching. I mean, they by far, and Syndergaard is going to be coming back. So this team is very tough in the bullpen. You know the power they got with Alonso. You add Lindor. You got Conforto, and you just add these pieces around them. McNeil, and I know I'm missing some players off the top of my head, but this is a good ball club and a ball club that should win. Okay, they have the talent to win. Okay, now it's just a matter of the manager putting it all together on this team, getting the guys to play well, and the NL East winner should be the New York Mets. As you look in the Central Division, NL, it's the Cubs, St. Louis, Cincinnati, and Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. Okay, the Chicago Cubs won, I believe, the division last year by 4 games. You got the Cardinals. Cincinnati could be a quiet sleeper this year. A lot's going to depend on injuries and stuff in there. But if I had to pick right now, I pick the Cardinals to go ahead and win that division. As far as the NL West, probably 2 of the toughest teams to pick. The Dodgers and San Diego. At the end of the day, who is a better team? And, you know, it's close, guys. This is one of the toughest divisions, I think, to pick. But, excuse me. But at the end of the day, when I look at this team, you know, here's a team that went to the World Series and didn't even have David Price. This team is going to ride on the coattails of how healthy Clayton Kershaw could be, okay? But even if he goes down, they have another top-notch pitcher, obviously, in David Price as well. Yes, the Padres do have Snell. They have added a couple more pitchers. They're a good team. They got Machado. You know, they got Tatis. They got Myers. I mean, they got unbelievable power. But at the end of the day, something about the Dodgers say, you know, it's close. I think if I got to pick this one, it is so close. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Padres win that division this year. So it's a close one. I think it's going to come down to the wire there, and the other one will be the wild card team. As you move to, we're going to do the East last. The American League, Central, Minnesota, Cleveland, the White Sox, KC, and Detroit. My sleeper in this division is the Chicago White Sox. I don't think they're going to win the division, but I think they're going to be a team that sticks around and could possibly sneak in as a wild card team this year. But in that division, I'm going again with the Rocco Baldelli and the Minnesota Twins. This is a great team. It's been a great team since he's got there. He's set the platform. He set the mindset that we don't accept anything less of losing. And I think he's going to get that greatness we were talking about is just a little bit away from Rocco Baldelli. He's been a good coach there, a good manager, above average manager. Now it's time for him to define his greatness over the next couple of years, I think, with the Minnesota Twins. In the West, what can you say about the West? Oakland, Houston, Seattle, LA, and Texas. At the end of the day, I said it last year, I see Houston dropping off. I really do. I like the team, Oakland. I like LA. I like Joe Madden. I think he is a great manager. And, look for LA to be another one of those teams to sleep. But at the end of the day, I think that team that could come down, but I'm going to give that one to the Oakland A's. And then in the American League East, I think that it's no secret when you look at the young guns are coming. The Toronto Blue Jays are coming. Okay, the question with the Blue Jays is going to be their pitching. Do they have? Now, they acquired Matz from the Mets, who I think was a terrific pickup, and I think he has the ability to win some games there. The question is going to be how many, but Steve Matz is a good young arm if they nurture him the right way and make sure from an injury standpoint he's doing all right, has the ability to be really, really good. But in this series, baby, I'm taking the Tampa Bay Rays to win this division. I expect the Tampa Bay, but I don't think this division is going to be won by 96 or 98 games or 100 games like it did in the years past. I think it's going to be tougher to win more games. I know last year the Rays won, 40 games and 60 games? That would be 80 and 120. I mean, they would be on pace to win 100 games, but I see the winning team in this division 92 or 93 games to take the division because it's going to be so tough. These teams are going to be beating the you-know-what out of each other. Don't look for Boston. Everyone's counting Boston out of everything. One thing you learn in baseball, you never count a Boston team out of anything. They always find a way to mix it up and will always be a rival no matter what their records are. So don't just think that the Boston Red Sox are going to be a pushover. The Baltimore Orioles have gotten better. We know what, the Blue Jays added Simeon. I mean, there's a lot of pieces, the Blue Jays added. So, I don't think the Yankees are as good as everyone's making them be. I just don't understand how a team with the same exact offense, both teams, you got the Yankees on one side and the Rays on the other, okay? They changed a couple of pitches. Yankees lost two of their main guys pitching. Rays lose two of their main guys pitching. But the Rays won 8 of 10 games and beat them in the playoffs, and everybody's still picking the Yankees to win. It doesn't make sense, and I don't care because at the end of the day, you put the results on the field. And the results that come off that field when you're done playing those 9 innings or however many innings it takes for that particular ball game, you show the other team who's better. So the Rays will do that. But my question is, who comes in second? The Blue Jays or the Yankees? On paper, the Yankees look great, but look what happened and what happens every year. Luke Voit gets hurt. How long is it before Judge and Stanton get hurt? How long is it before they said we had enough with Gabby Sanchez? Get the heck out of here. There's so many questions. What's the question on Kluber's health and Telson's health? They're both coming off injuries. Who knows what's going on with Jermaine? He said, I'm sorry. There's a lot of people in life that say they're sorry. Does he mean it? We'll find out. There's so many question marks with that New York Yankees team, and everybody's just going ahead and handing them the World Series trophy. And I think you're in for a very, very big surprise for New York that you may only be a third-place team this year if you can't stay healthy because, right now, if you're a betting person, you wouldn't bet on Judge the whole year. You wouldn't bet on Stanton the whole year. You already know Voit is gone. there's 3 big boys in your batting order right there that you don't know how long you're going to have. And like I said, I don't wish any harm or injury on any ball player, but I wouldn't be surprised if 2 weeks in, we're talking about Stanton and Judge and not knowing when they're going to be back this year. It's just, and I have that right to say it because it's a proven fact. It happens every year. And, right now, nobody can look at that city of New York and say there's not pressure to win. There's so much pressure on the Yankees to win right now with their cross-tiring rivals, the New York Mets, being so much better. Because if not, they're taking over that city. That team is a good ball club on paper. But we'll have to see. Remember, greatness is defined by results. So once again, we'll see how that all works out. But as far as, it is a tough one to pick. Because I'm so torn up on that Dodgers and Padres thing. I really think it's a close race. But I think whoever wins that division is going to the World Series. If the Dodgers win that, they go to the World Series. If the Padres win, they're going to the World Series. And I think the best team in the American League, and it sounds biased because I'm a Rays fan, is the Tampa Bay Rays. When you look at this lineup that we talked about earlier, and we got a couple minutes left, we're going to take a couple extra minutes here, but when you look at Susago, let me see if I could. When you look at Susago, that guy has potential, and we say potential because we don't know yet. But we know what he did in Japanese baseball. He's a home run hitter. He's going to hit 20 to 30 homers. Brandon Lau is good for 30 homers if he stays healthy. Adames is good for 20. Big question is third base. How does Yandy do? Catching is probably good for about 15 homers between Mahier and Zunino. Okay? But it could be more if Zunino stays hot like he was last year. If you look at Rosarina, there's no telling. He had a playoff that nobody's ever had before. We'll see, but I would say at least 20, which I think is a respectable amount. You look at center field, Kiermaier is not known for power. He could hit 10 to 15 homers a year. He has hit 20 before. And then, of course, everybody knows in right field, Austin Meadows 2 years ago hit 33 homers. So there's a lot of potential on this team. Don't think this team, but what they got to do and what Kevin Cash has to do, it's called manufacturing runs, okay? You don't always have to hit a home run to score. That's where the game of baseball has changed so much from the past, is you think everything has to be driven over the wall. No, it has to be, the ball has to be put in play, and you have to, just like you have to give the opportunity. Yes, the fielders are getting better. They don't make as many mistakes as they used to, but at the end of the day, it is a proven fact that you have a better chance of getting on base if you give the team a chance to misfield the ball than you do if you strike out. So anyway, that's my predictions. Didn't see many predictions tonight. I know we came to you on a fly tonight, folks, so I do want to apologize if some of you thought we were taking the week off. Felt like doing a show tonight. So I went ahead and did a show. I want to talk about the Rays. We're excited about the Rays. For those of you that are watching Frankly Speaking Sports and on several different platforms, we will not have a show tomorrow. Obviously, being the holiday, it's called opening day. We don't do shows on opening day unless something came up dramatic that we had to talk about, but I don't see that happening. So it will be not again till Monday that we will all be on. We'll talk about the first weekend of Major League Baseball and any other things that might come up in the sports world. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to first of all thank everybody on Northeast Streaming Sports, Frankly Speaking Sports on Facebook, our friends at Twitch. Also, we want to thank our friends at YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and if I missed a couple, I do apologize. I'm Larry Frank, Frankly Speaking Sports. Have a good night.